Thank you, Laurel, and good morning to everyone, and thank you for being here for the Neighborhood Challenge kickoff event. I'm excited to see all the energy and all the great booths and tables that are here, and thank you for being partners. I want to say a special word of thanks to Erin Ray for the music. I thought she was great, and it's always good to hear live music in Nashville. I want to recognize Brady Banks, the Metro Council member, is here with us, and thank him for being here. We've hit our goal for the number of sign-ups, so I'm thrilled about that. Nashville is doing very well right now in a lot of different ways. We still have a lot of challenges, but I want to just highlight a couple things. Last month, we opened up this building. It was a long process to get this building built, but I hope you like it. I thought it was important when we opened it that the first thing we did was not have a big VIP event or black tie dinner or anything, but we thought the way to open it was to open it to the people in Nashville who really are the people who made this happen. And when we opened it that Sunday, I thought we'd get somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 people to show up, and we got over 15,000 people came in to see the building. And it was a great day for me because we've worked on it so long, and to see people come in and enjoy the building and see the inside of it after all the effort was wonderful. And it was, not only do we think it was important to share it with all Nashvillians, but I also want to share and make sure that this facility is used by the citizens in Nashville, and that's why we're having the Neighborhood Challenge kickoff here. I think this room has already been scheduled for the Maplewood prom next year. The building is for the people of the city, and I would encourage you to take advantage of that. Before this building opened, we had 123 conventions already booked, and we had already signed up over 1 million hotel room nights for the new convention center. And as we reflect on that, on the process of building this building, I really believe that we made this investment at the right time. We were doing it at the depths of the recession, and a lot of folks said this isn't the right time to do it, but I think it was really the exact right time, because we saved a lot of money. The contractors estimate, they've looked at this since the building opened, and estimate that to do this project today would cost us $50 million more than it cost. We employed over 7,000 people during the recession, and now as the economy picks up around the country, we're in a perfect position to take advantage of that with, I think, the only new convention center in the United States. And so making the right investment at the right time is really key to our city's continued success. And I really believe passionately that the next thing that we have to invest in as a city is better mass transit. Our city has been talking about transit and the need to do something about traffic for as long as I can remember, over 20 years. And what we need to have is a transit system that is as convenient and fast as taking your own car. We either invest in transit, or we'll have to suffer the consequences, which will be more time spent in traffic, worse air pollution, remaining at a disadvantage to our peer cities who began investing in transit a decade ago. And the way I look at it is that not everything's a competition, but day to day we do compete for people to move to our city, people who want to start off life and have great opportunities. We compete for businesses, and there's two cities that we compete with most directly, and they're two great cities with great mayors who I know and like. But the two cities we compete with most directly are Charlotte and Austin, and we are literally at this point a decade behind them in transit, and we have to correct that. Now, we've been working on a transit project for the Broadway, East Nashville, West End corridor since 2009. It's now called the AMP, and it's a new bus rapid transit system that will run from 5 points in East Nashville to White Bridge Road in West Nashville. And the experience of taking the AMP will be more like using light rail or a subway. It will run on a dedicated lane. You'll go to these enhanced stations. You pay before you board, and the vehicle will pull up level to the platform. And instead of entering like you would on a regular bus by the driver where you climb up 2 or 3 steps, the whole side of the vehicle opens up like a subway. 2 doors open up, and people can exit, and then everybody enters at once. And there's no steps to climb. So that it's friendly to our seniors, it's friendly to folks with strollers, and then it goes on to this next stop on the dedicated lane. The corridor we have selected for the first line of the AMP is not a place to start rapid transit in Nashville. It is really the only place to start because it's the densest corridor, it's the main street of our city, it's the hub of tourism and employment in our city. We need federal funding to make the project feasible, and the Federal Transit Administration is only going to recommend funding if we start where the density is there for potential ridership. Now, it's really important that everyone understand this is not a one-off. This is not something we do and then say we're done with transit. What we need to do is have a transit system for the entire city. And, I just finished this year's budget, so I don't want to make any ironclad statements about next year, but I fully anticipate that we'll be doing the same sort of bus rapid transit that we've done on Gallatin Road and Murfreesboro Road on Charlotte next year. And I fully anticipate that we'll be in the near future going to Nolensville and throughout Nolensville Road and throughout the entire city. And one of the things we have to do as a city is have more cross-town connections and buses. Everything, leads to the center of the city. We're built on this spike system, but people want cross-town connections. This past year, we opened a new line called the University Line, which was really one of the first cross-town buses, and it's a wonderful bus because it runs from TSU and Fisk over the 28th Avenue connector to Vanderbilt, Belmont, and Lipscomb. And it brings our city together, and it allows everybody to enjoy these universities, but it will also, too, connect with the AMP. But I want you to remember, this is the beginning. We need to have transit for all of us, and we need to build a system that is all around the city. Both the Music City Center and the AMP are investments in Nashville's future. I often say that a great city is a city that has enough confidence to invest in itself, and our future is very bright. But we'll only meet the future if we continue to set high expectations. Whether it's as an individual or an organization or a city, people tend to meet the expectations set for them. Parents know that better than anybody. If you tell your child that all we want you to do is pass, or all we want you to do is meet this minimal requirement, kids are smart. They'll meet the minimum requirement. But if you say, we want you to be up here, they'll do it. And that's the challenge, that's the great thing about life, is striving to meet higher expectations, to meet higher goals. And that's why we have to continue to challenge ourselves and set the bar high. The neighborhood challenge is intended to replicate the successful workplace challenge. But different from the workplace, this challenge encourages and recognizes Nashville's neighborhoods. Whether you're part of a neighborhood association, a neighborhood watch group, a faith-based organization, any group that brings people together who live or congregate in a specific area, or if you want to create a new group to organize your neighborhood, this challenge is for you. The focus of the challenge is on three areas, three things that I care deeply about, which I think you all care deeply about, which is being green, having a more sustainable, environmentally friendly city, being a healthier city. I've talked about this a lot, but we are facing, I think the Tennessean had it this week, where obesity is now recognized as a disease. This is an enormous challenge, not only for Nashville, but for the entire state of Tennessee and the entire United States. And the fact that we have to recognize is that in Tennessee, we're one of the most challenged states. I think it's fair to say that the southeastern portion of our country, this is where this fight is going to be fought, and I think it's going to be won here in Nashville. And also being involved in our community. One of the great things I think that happens in Nashville is that we have so many citizens who are involved with nonprofits, involved with their neighborhoods, involved with their churches, and who want to give back and who want to make Nashville a better place to live. Nashville has gone, I think, Laurel, from 51 in terms of volunteers among major cities to now 14. And that's just in the last couple of years. We are clearly moving up toward being a leadership position in this country as being a city that understands and encourages volunteerism. Now, you may register on the website, and only one person per organization has to register, and fill out a scorecard in each of the category areas to earn points for efforts that will make your neighborhood more green, healthy, and involved. For example, you would earn points if you organize a volunteer project, share information about fire and police protection, which neighborhood organizations, I hear Steve Anderson, the chief of police, say this all the time. You know, the neighborhood organizations are the eyes and ears of the police, and he really encourages neighborhoods to form organizations that work to make safety a priority. You can host a workshop on making homes more energy efficient, and my office will work with you on that. There are over 130 opportunities to earn points on 3 different scorecards. And by doing all of this, Neighborhood Challenge will help connect our neighborhoods and residents with many of the resources and services available in government and the nonprofit community here in Nashville. The ultimate goal is to ensure that we make all the neighborhoods even better places to live. So if you haven't done it already, please go to the table titled Mayor's Neighborhood Challenge in the back. Frank's waving his hand back here, go back there. And sign up on one of the laptops or just visit mayorsneighborhoodchallenge1word.com to register. The top vote getters point gatherers will get a prize, and the winners will be announced in November of this year. Also, as part of the launch of the challenge, the Office of Neighborhoods will be adopting nextdoor.com. This is a free and private social network for neighborhoods that gives the city the ability to communicate with neighbors on Nextdoor. Think of it as a Facebook for neighborhood groups. Now, all of the Nextdoor neighbors can create private websites to easily connect with their neighbors about things that matter and receive government information from the city. By connecting and organizing online, neighbors can bring back a stronger sense of community to their neighborhoods, and we will have the ability to communicate efficiently with those neighborhoods. Again, and they're right here in the back, Nextdoor is in the back in the black and green shirts. Again, thank you again for being here. I know it's Saturday morning, you have a lot of different things you could be doing. I'm glad you chose to be here. We have staff here who can answer your questions about the challenge, and I wish everybody good luck, and I guess I hope you all win. It's one big tie, but